It's so dark. It was amazing! Oh wait! There's more! It was awful! I'm back! CGI shit!
I rest my case.
It was fucking horrible!
Hey guys, what's up? It's BigJackFilms here. Welcome back to another opening night. I'm so sorry for the month of non-opening night videos. Let's just say that the end of October was not the best, and November was very stuck. So I had a couple of videos I wanted to do on a couple of movies, but some of these movies I have no access to, unfortunately. I had a very hard time finding some of these films that some people wanted me to cover. I have not been to the movies much at all the last few months, so I've been kind of shit without a paddle. But that's all changing now, because for the last week of November, right now today, and then in a couple of days, I'm going to be covering 2 horror films, not only to make up for October, but also to kind of round out before December, because all opening nights in December, hopefully, are going to be Christmas-themed. And there's some movies I've never seen, and there's some movies that, I might as well talk about. So, starting today, to kind of kick off this late Halloween double feature, even though it's during Thanksgiving for American audiences, is a movie that, I'm not gonna lie, is not coming out until February for a more general release, but it premiered over the summer in Europe. And it has been all over TikTok, and it has also been something that Honey Bear wanted me to watch, Dracula, A Love's Tale. Now, I don't know if there's an embargo on this film to review it, essentially, but given the fact that, the movie is already been premiered in Europe and is making rounds on social media, I figured I might as well talk about it, because Honey Bear, again, wanted me to watch this. So we watched it during the Halloween season, and I actually have a lot to say about this one. So first of all, what's the plot of this one? It is a basic beat-for-beat retelling of the Bram Stoker novel, but on top of that, it's very much I call it a PG-13 rated remake of the Francis Ford Coppola Dracula. Now, I'm not a big fan of that film. I'm not a fan of Coppola's Dracula. I find it incredibly boring. I find it incredibly dull-acted. But I will say that, visually, it's a very creative-looking film. It's a very Gustave Doré-inspired, a little bit of La Belle and La Bête, from, was it Cousteau, I think, is the guy who directed, or Cocteau, was the guy who directed La Belle and La Bête. It's got that look to it. Very Phantom of the Opera, kind of stuff like that, modern Phantom. But Gary Oldman, outside of, the top hat look of Dracula, which he performs very well, the design is terrible. I hate that big white wig thing and all that shit. Now, that's sounding hypocritical because we used an amazing Dracula actor for a Halloween special, that's an exception. But at the same time, it's the wig is a little bit of a problem. The makeup's not that good. I'm not a fan of Gary Oldman's Dracula when he's in his true form. When he's not in his true form, he's great. But when he's in that clown-looking outfit, I'm like, no, this isn't it for me. But this one actually works to his favor. Now, I can also describe this one as sort of what if Francis Ford Coppola's Dracula was directed by Stephen Sommers? Because it is very much like The Mummy. It is very much a more PG-13 action-adventure romance. It's a little less on the fear factor this time around. It's a little less scary. Again, this is a very PG-13 film, which might throw away some audiences, because I do want that hard R, bloody Dracula. But I think this is a good Dracula for, a lot of basic audiences. So it is very much a remake of the Coppola film. If you know the Coppola film, you know the story. It talks about Dracula's past, how he had a love in the Dark Ages, threw himself away from God, became cursed for eternity, and he's been spending his whole eternal life trying to find his love, who is reincarnated into another girl in the 18th century. And, meanwhile, you know, you have Van Helsing and all this shit. So it is pretty much that. But I actually put this not only a step way above Coppola's film, I consider this probably one of my favorite adaptations of Dracula. I was shocked how much I really dug this film. I think, for one, I do like the fact that it's a foreign production. It's not a basic Hollywood film. It's very much taking a lot of creative control because it is an independently made film in Spain, I think this was made. And it has that vibe that I really like in a lot of Hispanic films. It also doesn't help. It also is great in terms of, like, it's filmed amazingly well. This is a very well shot movie. Like, a lot of camera angles are very inspirational with this. The production design is beautiful. This is probably the prettiest looking Dracula film I've ever seen. Like, this is visually stunning. And also, the actors involved are fantastic. I don't know most of their names. I know the guy who plays Dracula. He's not your typical Count Dracula where he's, you know, scary or he's, you know, like, you know, he's a horrifying. He's not Christopher Lee. He's not Bela Lugosi. He's not even Nicolas Cage. Now, I did see Renfield. I might do a review of that later on, but I really dug Renfield. I thought Nicolas Cage was a fantastic Dracula. I wish he was part of the Dark Universe lineup. I did like he was just channeling Lugosi. But the guy here, not only is he, I mean, he is Dracula, and it is interesting to see him take on this role. While not scary, he is the most sympathetic. This is the first time I think we've ever seen Dracula be sympathetic. Like, he is, you feel sorry for him. You feel bad for him. In a way, you kind of want him to succeed. Now, something that Honey Bear brought up to me is that this movie did everything that Coppola's Dracula should have done. In terms of, like, their romance, that Dracula and Mina and their relationship. And I agree. Like, this is a step up from what we should have gotten with Coppola's film. You do see that romance blossom. You do see that he's reunited with his loved one, even though it's a reincarnation. It kind of reminds me of The Mummy. Again, it's like The Mummy. He's waiting for the reincarnation to come back so he can continue his you know, his love and build a future together. But obviously, it's not going to end happily ever after, as, you know, a lot of people wish it was, but it is very tragic. And the guy who plays Dracula is fantastic here. Like, he's really good. It's a different take. It is sympathetic. But I like that. I like that it's a little bit different. That it's not just the, I'm a vampire, I'm gonna suck your blood and dominate the world. Like, he kind of does not like the curse he's under. He wants to be free of it. I guess finding Mina, he thinks, my curse can finally be lifted and I can rest. I can die in peace. There's a lot of that there. I really also like there is sort of a, it's not really a rivalry with Van Helsing, but there is a general understanding of one another. That while Dracula, you know, is trying to fulfill his destiny, and he knows Van Helsing's trying to stop him, Van Helsing also takes pity on Dracula. He does tell him at the end of it, mind your spoilers, I can set you free, I can help you. He doesn't want to kill Dracula on the intention of, you are a doer of evil, of darkness. He wants to help him. In a way, Van Helsing is kind of like Batman to the Joker. He's not wanting to just straight up kill him, he wants to rehabilitate him. And I like this, this new way of going about it. Now with the other cast members, Mina is fantastic. Whoever plays her, I don't know who it is. Fantastic actress, really good. Everybody is on par as they are in the other films. And my favorite, oh my god, I was not expecting this. Christoph Waltz as Van Helsing. Perfect casting. I loved him in this. Like, I love Christoph Waltz in anything he's in. I mean, I will say, sadly, Three Musketeers 3D, he's in that as Cardinal Richelieu. He couldn't even save that movie. I feel so sorry for him in that. But anything else he's in, if he's in a movie, I'm down. He's my Lucky Charm. He's my Christopher Walken, my Tim Curry. You put him in anything, I'll watch it. He is so much fun. And this one, he is probably my favorite recent Van Helsing. I know a lot of people love Hugh Jackman and a couple other people who played Van Helsing, but Christoph Waltz is a perfect Van Helsing. I couldn't ask for a better actor to play this role. And ironically, the next movie I talk about, he's in that as well, which he's sort of like, I'll bring this up later, the new Edward Van Sloan, in my opinion, with the monster movies. So, love Christoph Waltz in this film. He is phenomenal. He is fantastic in this. He's pretty much being the bounty hunter in Django Unchained, but a vampire hunter, and it's really cool. I love what he talks about. It is really engaging what he talks about, and it's really fucking cool. And then the last thing that really shocked me about this movie that I said, you know what, this is a great adaptation. Music. Now, you know, music nowadays is very hit or miss for me. I rarely, with most music, it sounds the same with any soundtrack nowadays. But this one was interesting because I was listening to it, and I was telling Honey Bear, this is very Tim Burton. Like, this is like if Tim Burton directed a Dracula movie. And then again, he did Frankenstein with Edward Scissorhands, but with this, this is like if he did Dracula. And watching it, I'm like, this is really cool. I like the sound. Is this Danny Elfman? It's Danny Elfman. Danny Elfman hasn't had a decent score in a long time. I would say not since Alice in Wonderland, which I know a lot of people hate, but I like that Tim Burton's Alice in Wonderland, but this is a step up. This is back to basics. And you know that the director of this movie told Danny, just do your Tim Burton shtick for Dracula. And Danny really succeeded. Like, this is one of his best scores in a very long time. I thoroughly loved his score to Dracula. Danny Elfman knows what he's doing with this. And it did give it sort of that Tim Burton vibe to it, which I appreciate. Like, you know, like that old school 90s Tim Burton, which is like my favorite era of Tim. He's fantastic there. So Danny Elfman did really good with the score here. It's also just well shot. The special effects, like, again, given this is an independent film in a foreign film, they had a budget. They had a good special effects budget with this, and you could tell, like, it's really well done. And there's just so much to admire about this adaptation of Dracula. It is perfect for everybody to enjoy. And I thoroughly like this one. This one is definitely probably one of my favorite adaptations out there. But it's, like, perfect for everybody. If you want to get anybody into Dracula and don't want to start with the Lugosi film, go with this one. This one is a good way to start being introduced to Dracula in a modern setting. And the fact that all these classic monsters are getting a second win right now, fantastic. But with Dracula, A Love's Tale, overall, I really like this one. Again, one of my favorite adaptations now. Cinematography's great, the music's great, the cast is great. While PG-13, lacking the blood and gore, lacking the violence and horrors, it takes the Dracula story and makes it more tragic, sympathetic, and romantic, and it does everything what a lot of audiences want with this character in this type of story, and they delivered on this. I know, again, it is getting a release, I think, in February, around Valentine's Day, which, perfect date night for anybody who wants to go see it. And I don't know if Universal's going to be distributing this, because I do know, it is, again, given it's a foreign release, you're probably going to see a major studio here in North America distribute it for a wider audience. I don't know who's going to be doing it, but if it is Universal, I would say grab it and distribute it, because what a great way. This is a much better Universal Dracula film than, say, Dracula Untold. This is the one to go with. So definitely would check this out when it comes out. The rumors about it on TikTok have been nothing but true, 100% true. It's a great movie. This is a 9 out of 10 for me. I really enjoyed Dracula's A Love Tale, and I hope when it comes out, you guys give it a chance, because this is worth watching, and I wish I saw it on the big screen, but overall, I really enjoyed this one. But let me know what you guys think. If you have seen Dracula A Love's Tale, if you've seen it early, let me know in the comment section below what you think about it. I'm very curious to see what other people think of this version of the story. Now, what's great about this movie is that it does make a good companion piece for a movie that just came out on Netflix that I'm going to watch, and I will give you my thoughts in a few days. And that being a lot of people have been wanting me to watch this. It has been on my essential list for opening nights. That is Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein. I'm gonna finally watch it, give you guys my thoughts on it, and I'll let you know what I think of it in a couple of days. So look forward to that. This week is a opening night Dracula Frankenstein double feature. Cannot wait to watch this one. So until then, like, comment, subscribe. I'll see you guys later. This is BigJackFilms signing off saying, go see Dracula, A Love's Tale when it comes out. I would highly recommend it. Until next time, guys, take it easy. And I'll see you guys in a couple of days with Del Toro's Frankenstein.